So good evening, everybody. Welcome to Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. It is a Thursday. Used to be flat Thursdays. Well, it's not anymore. We're here as part of the Nonnas Month. We're going to be running all the way through until the end of March, supported by the one and only Italian restaurant, award-winning Nonnas, and a regular home for all of us on the Chaingang. So thank you very much to Stefano for looking after the members of DCG Gang. You see the supporters just up on the screen there on your left, on my right, and essentially that is the people who look after the members of the DCG Gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, and they look after them with discounts, with giveaways, and we've got some great giveaways. It's going to be about 5 giveaways coming up in the last week of March, with 5 chances for the members to win £50 off. They already get 20% discount, so it does pay to be a member, and of course it all helps us cover off some of those costs. Now, as you can see just over there, the riders are lining up, and our yellow beacon is Russ, who is back. This is a brand new route for the DCG. It's not a new route in the sense that it's been used for a number of events, including the World Championships. However, it is going to be a tough one. Russ is going to be guiding everybody through, and this is essentially where we are heading. We're going over the mountain pass, we're going around the roundabout, we come back, over the mountain pass, around the roundabout, up the mountain pass. So we basically do north, then we do south and north, south and north, south and north, until we get exceedingly dizzy. There are basically going to be 15 ascents of the mountain tonight. There are 2 ascents per lap, plus we have to climb to the start-finish point, which is at the summit pass. Total will be 714 metres. It's a lot of climbing. And then there's going to be a substantial warm down so you can spin your legs out. Russ is going to try and keep everybody together. The man on the red bus duties is Tim Baggs. He's the man charged with picking up the pieces as people get dropped on the way round. There's going to be a lot of bodies. Please do let Tim know if you're not going to make it to the end and you don't need the red beacon to wait. The red beacons only have so much power in their legs, and when they run out of power they can't help people, so please make sure that they don't use that strength up needlessly. So please do ensure that you let them know. Now, we talk about this being a hilly route. Let's show you, courtesy of the amazing team at VeloViewer, just how hilly this is. Now, this is essentially from left to right. The start loop brings you in on the right-hand side, and it brings you in on the long, draggy climb. So essentially from the right-hand side, then dropping down to the left-hand side, and then back again. Now, the longest length of this is also in gravel. So when you look at that, tonight, everybody should be on a gravel bike. If they're not on a gravel bike, they are giving away masses and masses and masses of time. It is that straightforward. You will give away lots and lots of time. We will be finishing on the top of the summit, and as a quick reminder, as that profile shows you, you will need to remember, and Russ is going to be remembering this, 40.7 is the number that you're looking for. 40.7 should get us to the summit, and that will be the summit for the finish. Now, the riders are all lined up, and in fact they're out of the pen, so we had better jump in pretty quickly with them. Looks like they are already underway super fast, so we are going to jump in with one of our regulars. We're jumping in with Brett just over there as the riders head out into the city. So how the ride works, if you haven't seen it before, it's really simple and it is dead easy. Stay with the yellow beacon until that rider says you can disappear off into the distance. That is 3 times one word, which starts with a G, ends with an O. 3 times that in a row. It's only ever said when the limiter is off. Up to that point, the aim here is to stay with the yellow beacon. So let's jump in with the ride here on Nonnas Week, and let's watch our riders. They make their way out of the city and head out towards the Sker, which does indeed mean Pointy Hill. That is where we're going to see. So this is when we're going to go up into the sky fairly shortly. So our riders out on the ride. Let's get ourselves up with our camera Hopefully we'll be able to get a helicopter shot of the riders and give us a nice, accurate indication. Now, we will be going over the 100 rider marker tonight if rumours are correct and the numbers are correct on the screen. So just going to take a little bit of a check back into the pens. Looks like the only person in the pen is our poor lonely rider in there. Good to see Richard's just making his way on to the group as they come out. So basically, this is really simple. We are heading out towards the roundabout. We're going to turn left on to the first descent of the Sker, heading north. This is north first. So you're going to do the northern side first. Then we have 7 laps which you go over. So we make our way in towards the roundabout and then we take a left-hand turn. As you can see, a couple of riders just making their way out. I would suggest if you are more than about 10 seconds down, you jump in by jumping out and jumping back in. There is a 30-minute late join. So just watching Chris Ball, who is making his way up towards the back of the group. And looks like Tim Baggs on duty at the back of the group. So we've hit the gravel. We are now making our way up on to the climb. Let's get the drone camera coming in here. And remember, there are 15... I'll say that again, because you lot chose to write it. 15 ascents of the hill to do today. So that is going to be tough stuff for our riders. So the bus will probably come into action pretty early on. So just making our way in and around the spiral. You can see our yellow beacon leading the riders up here. And as we say, it is really simple, the rules on the Chaingang. Basically, stay around the yellow beacon. Stay around the yellow beacon. Stay around the yellow beacon. Real simple stuff. So here we go. The riders are on the way up there. Let's take a little bit of a check here. Chris Ball, schoolboy error, left key in front door. Oops, don't do that. If you do that here, it's like having a dead weight in the keys, like about, you know, those old style keys like from like the 1800s, like a steamboat. We're just in watching Ali Cameron on the way up. We've got quite a number of riders on the way up here, so I'm not sure who is really looking forward to this for us. I'm not sure anybody really was looking for this. Mr. Little just stopped us at the side of the road. Do a rejoin, buddy. Fastest way in. Chris Jones at the moment. At 2.7 watts per kilo, just sitting at the back of this group. You can see Tim Baggs looking after the riders tonight. This is Tim. He's our red beacon. Thank you very much, Tim. Our beacons are absolutely key to the ride. So a big thank you to everybody who has volunteered for that. It won't be all that long before the call goes out, I think, for the April, which will be the final ones. And of course, we are headed into towards the end of the season as the riders make their way up here. So you can see the riders continuing around this left-hand turn. We've still got quite a few turns, hairpin turns to get up to the top. And remember, of course, all of those gaps that are there now will just be amplified as we go into the December. It's looking like Russ, not all that far up the road from Chris Jones. Chris on his way up here. Chris, I hope you chase a gravel bike on the start-finish line. If not, jump out, jump back in again. This is like Mordor, says Simon Runnit. I didn't realise you'd been. Didn't realise you were one of the party. So just watching riders in. Going to take a sharp right-hand turn. So coming up to the pass, we'll see it's Mordor on his legs. Oof, that is the worst pun ever. Just about. We've had some bad puns on the Donny Chaingang, but that is definitely one of them. That is for sure. Right, let's get our drone camera from out inside the rocks. Samwise is running out of gears. Yeah. So here we go. Come on, Chris, give it a big push. Get in that group. If there's a gap between you and that group, or as you go over the top, they will open up and you will see them on the way round. We've really started on the talking already. better than the cake on the WoW DCG. And if you haven't seen the WoW DCG, it was an absolute cracker yesterday. If I were you, I'd go watch it back. It was another example of the WoW DCG being ramped all the way up to 4.5 watts per kilo, basically. It was 4 watts per kilo before the call came. Now, this is also the run up to the finish. So this is where we need to get our riders in together. Everyone needs to squeeze in here. If you know you're going to be in trouble, John Gale not having the right moment to be dropping off the pace here. So this is the push on as they come up. We've got another spiral to complete, and then we'll be heading up in towards our summit. Gantry being in with the pack is really key here. So the more we squeeze, this route is going to go mental. Right, if in doubt, change your frame. So if in doubt, guys, jump off, jump back in. The gravel is fastest. If you change to a gravel bike, it will automatically change to gravel wheels as well. Any gravel bike is faster on here than a road bike. It is that effective. It's about 40 seconds or so, depending on who you believe. So please, guys, get on there. You are going up this side 8 times and up the other side 7, Mr. Warren. Just remember, if somebody's changed their bike in the pens, it won't show on your screens, guys. So just be aware. He's got purple walls on his tyres. That's the altitude. Right, here we go. Just following Mr. Curran in. You can see the height that we've gained dropping down off the side there. That vertiginous drop at the side. So Finn Davis just at the side of the road. Finn, jump out, jump back in again if in doubt. So here we go. Last big push, please, guys. This is where you're going to need to squeeze in, because as we go over the top and drop down, you will find yourselves in trouble. You will get gapped on the way through. Really key here to squeeze. So looks like Ed Curran putting in a big dig in here. Finn Davis, come on, Finn. Get your finger out, mate. This is where you're going to have to push. So this is where you got to really squeeze on. You just see that big kick coming from Finn. He's going to get onto that group, and then we are going to be in with the descent. So now we're going, you can just see Finn really winding it up on that gravel bike up over the top. We're going to drop in with Stefano Borelli on the way down. So this is the descent. This is where it is key to keep it together as much as is possible. So remember, if in doubt, look at the kilometres. You will finish at 40.7 at the top of the summit you've just come up. We're now going to drop down to the roundabout. It's not very far on the road. We turn around and we come back up again. So you've started lap 1 proper. Might have to keep a check of this with a notebook and a pen. You remember those? So we have done North 1. We are on lap 1. Just doing writing things. I'm not very good at multitasking, honest. So, we are on lap 1 of 7. It is a very short turn and a spin round. We go right the way around the roundabout. We're just riding in with Stefano Borelli. Yep, 7 laps. Not 7 ascents, 7 laps. That is 14 ascents plus the start ascent that you've just done. Don't worry. Don't panic. It's just like going up and down, up and down, up and down. It's dead easy, honest God. And you've got to remember, you don't drop all the height all the time. Once the trigger point goes, it could be very entertaining. So we have done our north ascent. This is now heading south. So we're going back towards the sunshine. You can tell we're going south here. And as you can see, this is the Red Beacon group just making the way up on to the climb. It is going to be very interesting tonight. There's going to be some very, very twitchy rides on here tonight. Quick reminder, please, make sure you stay with that yellow beacon. If you're worried about being dropped, don't be. It's going to happen to everybody on the way through, but pushing on at the front will not help. So please, guys, remember, please make sure that you stay with that yellow beacon. Really is key, particularly on this route, to keeping the gang together. The aim to look after all our riders for the start of the ride, and it is going to be really important. They're on the same as you, mate. I hate to break it to you. Everybody's actually pretty much together. So let's have a look at just a little struck out, but not too bad at the moment. The time gaps at the moment from back to front are about 10.5, 11 seconds. Hopefully nobody is pushing on at the front at the moment. Remember, you need to be able to see the yellow beacon. And the guys on the front, just to let you know the numbers, because we're looking at the numbers all the time, are mostly sitting around about the 2 watts per kilo marker. 1.9 seems to be the predominant number. And is all about making this. So here we go. Looks like the group just getting itself back together again. I think everybody's back in with that group. We're just taking a look. So the whole group is pretty much together. Much shorter ascent this way, as you will see. We're not all that far from the summit, because you don't descend anywhere near as far. So the more everybody can help the gang at the back keep it together as they come in. Look at how compressed this is. This is brilliant. And you can see nicely compressed at the end here at the front of the ride, not all that far away. It is absolutely Grupo Compacto pretty much as we come up. This is the summit coming up. Very short ascent this side. Everyone gets scared by the fact that we said there was 15 hills. There is only 15 hills. They are only hills. It is not a mountaintop ascent. So the gang comes in over the top, and we are now on the gravel descent, and this is where the gravel bikes really do make a big difference. So this is key. Make sure you get yourselves in with that yellow beacon, and then we are on the descent. Brilliant to see. And if we get our helicopter up, I think we're going to have a cracking descent on the way down. So we may well leave this on our helicopter shot as we go in and over the top. And you can get to watch this entire descent from the camera viewpoint, looking up at the top of the mountain, the top of the skirt. We come from the top of your screen, we're descending down towards the lower slopes at the bottom. We're going to have loads of chance to focus in on our riders on that leaderboard as well. But great to see everybody in together at that stage. I'm just watching our riders on this descent, making the way down and in. Got lots of our regular riders in on board, which is great to see. So you can just see this descent very, very quick indeed. And the riders making the way down. Once we get to the bottom, we head to the roundabout once again. And guess what we do? We turn around, come all the way back up again. And repeat. Rinse and repeat, most definitely for a number of people, I think, today. Now you can see how strung out that group is. These riders make their descent down here on the Donny Chaingang. Whilst the riders are on the way down, quick reminder, make sure, guys, you support the people who support the Chaingang. Then you can see them across the bottom of your screen. 1080 Continental Velaskin, along with Halo, Nonus and Gritty as well. Absolutely key. So get yourselves down and make sure that you make the most, particularly if you're a member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Sports Club. Quick reminder, the membership is open for April now, so the membership is open for April. We will see the return of one of our key supporters on the way in and through, and they will be coming back once again in April with giveaways and more goodness for the members, for the people who donate for a month or to the end of the season, which will be the same thing basically at the end of the month. So the turnaround is done. We're now heading, guess what, back up the hill again. Now, this is a longer ascent. Everybody's done this once. When we get to the top this time, that will be 1 lap complete with 6 to go when we get to the top. It's straightforward. Okay, let's drop some numbers in. So let's have a little bit of a check. I think the gap is not too bad. They get off the avatar, Mr. Payne. I don't know. Don't need to be watching the avatar. Sat down there in Glasgow. We're going to have a lonely ride. So here we go on to ascent number 2 of the northern slopes. So remember, guys, time to push on. Big climb once again. Just in with Jones and Topslitz. Looks like Dobson just pulling to one side at the moment. So I'm just going to take a little check. Looks like the group pretty much got a couple of riders just distance out at the back. Just keeping an eye on the riders on the map as we come up here. We're going to dive back in. Let's get off that helicopter shot. We've done enough helicopter for a little while. So don't forget, it is absolutely key. You can only see the yellow beacon, the red beacon, and the nearest riders to you, the nearest 100. We are over the 100 rider mark. We are at 105 and counting. So please, 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 guys, make sure that you keep your eyes on those screens. You need to be with that yellow beacon on the ascent and the descent until you get in. Now, this is going to be hard work. Imagine the world's most infamous interval session. This is it. It is going to be tough stuff. What you need to do is head down, and as one rider has said, you can't beat tiramisu post-race. So taking the left-hand turn, our riders here, this is Jones and Topless, looks like Tim Baggs, Stefano Borelli and Ed Curran just in front. That's our rare bus, which is, it's about 8 seconds or so off the back of the main group, which doesn't sound a lot. It doesn't look very much here on the ground, but it is different. When we go over the top, that gap will open once again. It's an old concertina effect, basically. When you go on the climb, it's compressed. And when you go out the other side, it's expanded. And then you go on the climb, it compresses. And then you go on the descent, and it expands once again. Really, really tough stuff. You're going to do that a lot. So let's see the guys, a number of people just start pulling to one side. I think that's going to be a quick bike change on the way through. The red bus going to be making its way back in. Just see Stefano and Chris Jones here. Just pushing on. Curran and Baggs just a little bit in front at the moment. We've got a little bit of distance up to the top. We've got the left-hand hairpin turn, and then we got the the second of the spirals. Just in with Stefano in here, and just making his way up. Matt Crease just pulling to one side. I'll tell you something, I'll be pulling to one side on this climb. So looks like Matt just keeping an eye on, just joining in with the riders at the back there, just to give a little bit of assistance. Paul Hudson just pushing on at 5.5. Paul, not been on the gang for a little while. You've chosen a baptism of fire for your return, sir. All right. On to this big climb. Just imagine, Stefano, it is the climbs of the Milan San Remo, the classic coming up this weekend. Going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. The riders who are on form at the moment in Tirreno and at Paris-Nice, a lot of those taking part. Seen some very interesting race action already. That looks to me like this group definitely starting to stretch out now, as the riders go up on to the climbs at the moment. So it looks like the red has pulled a number of riders back on to the back of the group. Good work there by Tim Baggs. Just helping a number of riders on. Wayne Barr hanging around the back of the group. Good to see Dr. D on board again. Dr. D on his way back with us, and good to have Rowan on board. Rowan just jumping in on front of in front there of Wayne Barr. These sort of riders just a little further back. So just going to take a little bit of a run back. It's Ed Curran, Sunrunner, Chris Jones and Stefano Borelli. They are the riders on the way up here. So we've got about 20 seconds separating the leading pack, the back of the leading pack, not the front of the leading pack, the back of the leading pack from the rest of the riders as come up this climb once again. So for anybody who has not been doing interval sessions, you are going to definitely today, you can just see we're making the most of this height. It's a long way down to Glasgow City, which is just tucked down on there. It's almost reminiscent of being up on Arthur's Seat and looking down on Edinburgh as you come in and through, because that is very similar to the view that you get from the top of Edinburgh as you drop in and down. Now, new fastest time as they come up on to the top of the group. So it's about squeezing on here, and this is the big descent. We're just going to jump in with this pack as we come in and down here. This is on the wheels of Potts on this descent. We'll go with Potts for a change. Let's see, we've got Tracy in. Could be a long night. You'd be surprised how fast this ticks through. Foxy, I think from the Rave Squad, who has been doing a lot of the beacon shooters on the WoW DCG, changing the kit once again. Sure she does it just to shake things up. So 1 lap was complete at the top. That was 1 lap done. We have 6 more laps to go, guys. 6 laps left to go. 1 done, 6 to go. That was as we came over the summit. It's going to go by very, very fast. 1 lap done. 6 to go. So Potts coming down round the roundabout. Guess where? Now coming up to the ascent. The beacons seeing each other as they come down past each other. It's the road ascent now heading back up the opposite direction. I'll tell you something, people are going to do some serious stuff today. We may have to push on in the second half. Well, yeah. I tell you something, when I saw this route, I saw the amount of climbing and I saw the distance, but I have to say, I did think this could be a long one. I have snacks, supplies and refueling coming my direction, hopefully about halfway through, just to keep me refueled, even if I have to send out an SOS here. And that is the plan. So let's take a look. Matt Crease just on his way in. Looks like Chris Jones just hitting the base of the climb at the moment. Real hard day at the office. Stefano Borelli about to hit the climb line. Our riders going to see each other regularly on the way through. Tim Baggs just patrolling the back of the bunch at the moment. Very, very tough day for Tim to be a red beacon, because where do you put your efforts in? You can't really assist riders with aerodynamic drafting. You can't do much other than to try and keep everybody on. Russ saying he would have gone and knocked some kilometres off, then it wouldn't be the DCG. I might remind you of that next time we do Climbers Gambit, where we do about 28k, I think, from memory. Yeah, it's not going to be that long tonight. We're only 24 minutes in and have covered 1 lap of 7. Nearly in for 1.5 laps. Could be an entertaining evening. You didn't want to go do anything else, did you, tonight, folks? There is definitely nothing easy about tonight. I would agree 100% with that one. It's going to be tough stuff. You could do 75k on Timbers Fugitive for this time. Well, you could well, maybe. So let's take a little bit of a rundown with our riders. Stefano doing a good job from Nonnas, tucked in and tapping out that rhythm of 66 revs per minute. Chris Jones just 83 revs per minute in front. Darren Topless at 72. Carl Johnson, nicely ticking along here. 84 from him. He's not far off the top of the climb or the back of the bunch. This is our Red Beacon group at the moment with Finn Donohoe with the gang Wayne Bar just up in front. We're coming up to the top of the climb. Wallace in here, Jessup, Osborne, Russ tucked in here as well, alongside Foxy. Foxy's just kick again. I'll tell you something, some people just are not happy except for the, I'll change this. Right, so we'll just take a look. Where do you think you should go before the grand finale, before the summer break at the end of April, says Russ? Well, for the WOW DCG, the next two routes are going to be really interesting, but the last route for the WOW DCG is going to be on Crit City, doing it in reverse to the normal way, which is the Bell Lap. Cam Norman, out to Zwift. No, don't do out to Zwift for the last one. Do something really short. Why did you ask that stupid question, said Russ? Nick Murray, Alp, Russ, look, mate, if you can have boat face and Brexit, we can manage to screw up where we go for the last Chaingang. Yes, Russ, Crit City. Don't do the reverse one. The women are doing that one for their last one. Do something. They've got the proper way round. I did choose the wrong way round. Mont Ventoux. No, Mont Ventoux is the dullest climb in the world ever. Go to the Alp before the Mont Ventoux. Dear me. It is dull. Don't do Harrogate. Harrogate's hard. Glasgow Crit could be done. That's a harsh circuit of the Glasgow Crit. Anyone who's seen the chumps know that. Greater London Flat. Why not do that? So Stefano over the top. Well done, mate. Goes over the top. Cast parts. Yes. I think we're in Glasgow Crit next week. We are, if I remember right, I think. Who knows? Tim Byrne, anywhere Pan Flat. Could do Tempest Fuji. We haven't done that for a little while. There you go. Or we could do a Matt special and we could do something where we don't finish on a standard finishing line. Just to confuse everybody in the last one. So riders going down and coming back up in. Russ, focus on the riding, buddy. Crit with prize each lap. Simon, are you donating a book for each lap? The 100 Climbs author. Maybe we should get a climb book per lap from Simon. That'd be nice. Simon's feeling flush. You can do the admin too, mate. I'll just give you a list of names. Random draw each time. Yeah, no. Right. Here we go. Russ on to the climb. Big old stretch in front. Drop getting vibe going. Indeed, Russ. Indeed. It drops. Indeed, you are, sir. Claire Jessup just in front of our Red Beacon. And the bus, I think, is forming. There's Stefano, and that is going to be Darren Thomas just coming the other way, going into the roundabout. And this is where our Red Beacon is going to be able to see everybody coming the other way as well. It's going to be a little bit more carnage. We are on the ascent here, which means that we are making our way up to go complete lap number 2. This is the climb for lap number 2. Foxy's done the same. Doing it again. Changing kit. I'm tell you something, just making my life really complicated. Now Daisy Freer is on the ascent, just alongside another rider who was riding yesterday. It's like Steve Catlin in here. Easy Tiger, says Simon Run It. Can't see the man in yellow. We've got riders distanced off the back. There are riders all over the place at the moment. No surprises there on this course. It was always going to be a course that was going to test our riders out. And it's definitely not going to take any prisoners this course. So if you are having a time, find some company who is climbing at a very similar pace to you. Talk about anything. Cake, beer, booze, legs, riding, hills, racing, anything. Whatever you fancy. I'm liking the fat cyclists. An early go on last DCG would be fun. That would be very interesting. So here we are. We're on our second ascent. So, sorry, on our second lap, on our third ascent, as we watch Mr. Mason on his way up here. Yeah, don't let it go too early. I have absolutely no chance of working out who's where, Russ. If we end up daft on this one, it could be very, very fun indeed. Keep me on my toes for however many hours we are here. Probably about 2.5 at the moment. Yeah, Russ lets it go on lap 2 of 7. That would not be good. Don't do it. Don't do it. Tim Bags is easing up so he can collect some riders. Good man. Tim, medal heading your direction. It might be made out of chocolate, but nice one, buddy. Chocolate medals are always the best anyway, because you need them better than things that go in a draw. Right. Just taking a little bit of a run back. So it looks like everybody on the climb heading north at the moment. So we're all on the same climb. This is a bonus. Good start. So we're taking a look up here. So John Finney in here. This big pack, I think, are all clustered together all the way across the road. Proper roadblock round our yellow beacon. You can see there are a number of people just being tailed off. There are gaps opening up to our red beacon and our red beacon as possible. We would need a pack of sheepdogs today to be able to look after everybody with a course that is so sawtooth in profile. So into our final spiral of lap number 2, the final spiral of lap number 2 for the yellow beacon group, which is where we are at the moment. On the Sker Summit North, on the way up here. You can see the gantry just to the base of your TV screen. Just coming round into this full turn on the right hand side. So Fox is still in that group. The more riders that stay in, it'll be very interesting to see where we end up at the end of this. Just watching Mr. Malin, who must be almost glued to Russ's wheel at the moment. There he is, just tucked on the side there. So around the top. A number of people actually liking this. Yeah, to be honest, I looked at the course and I thought, oh, I'm glad I'm not riding. And I thought, actually, I'm not, because I really like this, because you got like descent, brake, nice and easy. Ascent, go like crazy. Descend, go like crazy for me means basically try and stay on at the back. It doesn't mean go to the front. The rest is like change the 3 G's to 3 S's. Love it. We will see. Says Donny. Now then, play nice. So over the top we go. We have completed 2 laps, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps of 7 are now complete. And that means we have 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go. We have 2 laps done. We are on 5 laps to go. There you go. Did I shout loud enough, Russ? I tried to, without blowing and breaking the speakers and everything else. Right, on the descent, watching Richie Woodall coming down, 33.5 minutes, 34 minutes on his way down. Let's see how they're rolling at the moment. We are on our tarmac descent. We're heading for the roundabout. We'll be there very shortly indeed. A right, a left, and another right, and we're on the roundabout. And then we'll be going back up the hill again. Just watching Muffdale Phil on his way down here. Gets Josh Mayland back in once again. Really interested to see who does well tonight. I am very, very interested to see what is going to happen. Tonight we do have a number of bodies distance. Guys, find yourself a partner, climbing partner. Always good. Keith Hayward, Houston, I have a problem. Yeah, I say that regularly. I had one today. I went out for a ride with Emma. On the bikes this afternoon. I won't tell you how warm it was or how sunny it was, but it was absolutely gorgeous. But oh my goodness, my legs didn't work whatsoever. It might have been something to do with 4 hours continuous strumming beforehand, but there was nothing in the legs. Houston, we didn't just have a problem. I think the boosters are completely blown up. Right, here we go. Ted's on his way out. Good luck to everybody. Ted, thank you for joining us. Would rather you join us, people join us for some of it than none of it. Every time. So here we go, just watching Mr. Wallace come around the turn on to, oh yeah, the climb. That'd be the one. Just seeing Norris coming in the opposite direction. That was Claire Jessup just going down the opposite direction, I think. And you can just see the big charge up as Danny Keyworth comes down. The roads are on the way up. The only good thing about this is when you get dropped, there's loads of other people to keep an eye on. Neil, what are you doing off the back, mate? So Neil is on his way up. Keith Hayworth thinks his avatar has been hacked by a fat person. His avatar's backside looks massive. Does your avatar look big in this kit? Yes! Mine always does. Might be something to do with the too many pieces. Right, here we go. Back up onto the climb. Kai, yes, it's going to hurt. It is the scale. We are on the first ascent of lap number 3. So with 2 laps done, we have 4 3/4 laps to go. Am I admiring your new shoes? No, I wasn't, Neil. I can do. What are they? Stop pedaling, Neil, for like half a second, mate. So they got laces in, like old school. Trying to work out what Neil's shoes actually. Oh, there we are. No, mate, hideous. Go on, keep pedaling quick. Don't make me look at them any longer. Look at that. If only it worked. Neil, can you come out and ride the bike up the hills for me out here as well? Because I'm really struggling every time it goes uphill. Look at Neil, just putting in a massive dig. Thanks, Neil. They are an interesting shoe. What level did you get those at, buddy? What level did that happen? Right. Right. Any picks for... Oh, Simon running. Any picks for Milan San Remo? Soren Craig with them on there. Neil got those shoes at level 39. Really? Don't remember those. Anyway. Craig Forrester, schedule maintenance 2 a.m. on the 20th. Should we be done by then? Maybe. Maybe not. Don't know. We're going to put money. Pog on the suppressor. Yeah, bound to happen. Pog for everything, pretty much. Right, on to the descent. So, we're not kind of halfway, but maybe we are halfway in lap 3, because we've done the ascent anyway. So, we're on lap 3 of 7 at the moment. Chris Ball is out. Enjoy. Chris, thank you for joining us. Make the most of the downhill. Get those drops points in, mate. Don't leave the event till you've got your drops point in at the bottom of the descent every time. If you're going to do a ride, always finish at the bottom of a hill so that you've got the most drops point. That's true in real life, or if it is in Zwift as well. Make the most of the downhills every time. Well, a little bit misty on the way down, and a little bit dusty off the gravel off the bikes on the way through. I think Mr. Mason saying, I think am I all right to leave the phone for another 5 minutes? I think probably much. Chris Ball, family images. Chris, stay safe, and hope everything's all right. Right, let's take a little bit of a run through, everybody. It looks like Stefano in here. Tim Baggs, Mr. Curran in here as well. Russ, don't you dare call him right now. Oh my goodness, that would be bad news. We're not even at halfway distance. Cam Norman in here. Cam, how you doing, mate? Cam's been busy today out at the Full Speed Events HQ in France. He's been out in the on the prospective grounds for where we're going to be putting a few people, hopefully, on the way through. Big tidy up. Going to have an even bigger day tomorrow. So when he's really shattered after riding the Chaingang tonight, he's going to get a really tough day tomorrow. Good job he doesn't listen or watch this much. Don't tell him, Kay. Right. Mr. Taylor in here, tucked on the back. I think Paul will go. Although I don't think it's hard enough or long enough to allow him to escape. I would agree with that as well. Right, leading group, that is the Yellow Beacon group. It is whittling down actually pretty substantially on its own. Let's take a little bit of a look at the back of this group. Try and get some numbers in here. Cam actually just being this. Get your finger out, Cam. Come on. Let's have a look. See if we can find sort of the back of this packish. Ali Cameron, maybe. Maybe Daisy Freer. Daisy's off. Will's off. Josh Mayland. Josh is 80th. At the moment, and not actually in the main group, so he's going to need to get a move out. Who's just worked out? You just go up and down the same hill, lots. Simon Warren. Okay, we just worked out we're going up and down the same hill, but both sides. Really, really? Have you really? Dear me. Yeah. Mate, if you've only just worked that out, I do worry about your sanity. Maybe you've been living in Sheffield, it's the altitude being so far north, and the move has sent you slightly crazy. Right, Vin Donny at the moment on the way up. Just seen, I think it was Carl Johnson going down the descent in the opposite direction there. Vin just squeezing in with Mr. Wallace. Looks like Kai at the moment, just being on his way through. Simon Warner's on Twitter. Yeah, that would drive you nuts. Yeah, there you go. So let's take a look. We've got Mr. Hudson in Bale. The gaps are opening up, guys. You're going to need to squeeze it a little bit together, guys. You need to squeeze a little bit together. Remember, wondered why both summits are called Summit. Yeah, north and south. Yeah. On the way up, it's pretty evident now. Just trying to take a little bit of a run and need to keep tight, guys. So it's breaking up in a big way here, and we are not even at half distance, not even close at the moment. This will be at the top, the end of lap 3. When we reach the top, it will be the end of lap 3 of 7. I repeat that. The top of this climb will be the end of lap 3 of 7. So keep your powder dry. Really, guys, don't push now. You are a long way from home. Our red beacon on the way down past our yellow beacon. Heading down the descent there. Great to see them go past each other. At the moment, just in with Dixon Moore, who's sat right next to Russ. Russ, of course, in the Downing cycling kit. Always very distinctive. As we come up this part of the gravel climb. Russ, of course, proud owner of a Pinarello gravel in the flesh once again. Yes, I am. I am indeed sure that the finish is at Sker Summit North. I hate to break it to everybody, but it most definitely is. The lap start is at the summit when you hit it for the first time. Which is I hate to break it. But it is the same part of a piece of road and tarmac, whichever way you go at it, just in a different direction. Much as I would like to say it was this time round. Okay, so our riders are just coming around in towards the spiral section. Bodies scattered pretty much all over the place. We've got quite a lot of riders now starting to lose contact as they ride a pace up here. Stefano on his way down the descent at the moment. Andy Kewith on the rise. Dayton on the way up. Flynn on his way up. So is Keith Howard. Isolated, vulnerable and scared. Mate, jump on the Facebook page. There'll be plenty of people to keep you company. Right, let's see if we can get it all back together again as we go up. That may mean an easing this as we come up and through. We just stay in with Vin Donahoe at the moment as we come to the banner. This banner means it's 5.9k per lap, Vin, and about a calendar month. So when we go up to the top, this is going to be lap number 3 complete. We are at 20.3k, 20.4k coming up as we come up and through. This is going to be the lap done. So, going to be pushing. Here we are, up on to the top. Going to be close. Should be 4.7 off, I make it. It's 5.9k per lap. So just as Vin goes over the top, we are just going to do a little bit of public service, and we are just going to reiterate. It is 7 lots of 5.9 plus a 2.7k warm-up, which leaves you at 40.7. If you do the math, 7 times 5.9 plus 2.7, it gives you 40.7, and that is at the Skirt Summit North Arch. There is a 4.7k warm-down. That should be correct. We will see if it is, whether my maths is as good as Vin Donahoe's. We will see as the riders make the way down into the descent. Going to need to squeeze on to get into the group. It's well and truly stringing out. So Trevor Crehan on this descent trying to get back into the group. There's quite a few people just being distanced on the way down here. Looks like Josh Mayland not quite in with the main group. He's doing some serious damage today as we make our way in and around. Just following Neil from Gritty as they come in and around the turn. Looks like the dog has decided to eat somebody in the local vicinity. Not the first time, probably won't be the last time you hear Indy Trail Dog on the show on the Chaingang. Doesn't always happen for UCI broadcast, but definitely a regular on the show. Yes, you don't want to mess with him. Yes, he can out-sprint you on a bike. Yes, he can run for 12 hours. Generally just needs feeding occasionally, and yes, he is far quicker than I am on or off the bike. The only way I beat was in the car these days, and yes, his bike is as bad as his bar. If you get on the wrong side of him, fortunately he's as soft as anything most of the time, otherwise we really would be in trouble. So our riders continue their way up the road climb. The Yellow Beacon almost getting up to the top. Just a quick flick on to the map for you. Once again, a quick reminder going up and down that same hill, mostly for the benefit of Mr. Warren on the way through. Russ, our Yellow Beacon, our Red Beacon is Tim Baggs, both working hard to try and keep everybody together. So here we go on the descent with Neil. The group in front stretching away at the moment here. So Neil is going to have to put a bit of power down now to get back in with that leading group. At the moment, we're going to move our way up through these riders, try and get up to our yellow beacon. Neil's got a time limit today. Not going to see the finish. No! Not good. A few people's got dinner on. Yeah, I know. So here we go into the roundabout once again. So we are on our way. We're going to hit the next summit. That's going to be at 26.3k. 26.3 is our next summit. So quick spin round. And we should get there at 26.3 should be our next ascent. Now this does work on the basis that we're only going in 0.1 increments on the measurements that we've been using. That will change slightly because of course any error is magnified by the number of laps that we do on the way through. What's the blue stuff? Somebody burning tyres. No, but I can tell you a really interesting story about people burning things in Scotland. We were actually setting up for the national championships, and we were using ski poles at Caskin Braes, looking down onto the delights of Glasgow. And we went out to go check round the course in the morning, only to find a few people having a brew up and some food on burnt ski poles. They were burning ski poles so that they could eat something off it. This is a deadly true story. The conversation to me went in there. It was absolutely crazy. We couldn't quite believe it as we went round the corners. Now, Russ just rolling up on to the front here. We're at 52 minutes at the moment. Well, do you know what? The group is doing well. I've got to agree with Russ. Amazing to see everybody doing a cracking job. I mean, we are still... It's hard to know where the back of the group is. Foxy, you're at 3. So let's say you're 4 seconds off the group. So this may be Group 2. So 67 riders in Group 1 at the moment. And that's a fairly substantial group. And it is changing a little bit. So maybe 69. These riders are just trying to push on. Some run at great cost. Not sure everybody would agree with you. So while potentially the last one on this front section, going to be the 73rd. Neil from the crosscast to jump off. Thanks very much for joining us, Neil from Gritty. So Wild at the moment is probably potentially the rider not into that group. The front is squeezing together a little bit, which is just up the road. This is going to be very, very interesting. Neil's going to keep up on YouTube. Yep, we will be here most of the evening, and we will see all of our riders in and through. That's going to happen on the way in. Looks like the Aurora Borealis is on its way, and that is going to be in. Maybe we shorten the Ks in the DCG book. Maybe Russ. I don't know. I quite like a long route every now and then. I think we should, if it was all the same, it'd be boring. We want to have different stuff. Got to have a long one every now and then, which takes like forever and a day. Trevor Creator tried to get back and went boom. Ah, that's what it was. I thought it was just an earthquake. Right, it's your legs exploding. Yeah, that's feeling well. Right. All right, it's on the way up. I wonder how many people finished tonight. That could be an interesting stat when we get to the end, because there's going to be a war of attrition with people getting hungry. The main pack of centred around Russ are about to make the way up. They've got the last spiral. So, yeah, we are actually technically over halfway in terms of distance. Now, you'll be glad to know. Now, I've done some calculating. I reckon it's 44.7 when you allow for all the little bits and pieces that we have in the turns and the discrepancies. But anywhere from 44k on, we should see us in at 7. So we are definitely over halfway. As we get to the top, we are going to complete lap number 4. When we reach the summit this time, it will be lap number 4 of 7, which will leave us 3 more laps to go. You'll be very pleased to know. So when we reach the summit this time, there are 3 laps to go. We will have completed 4 laps of our 7 laps of this course, and that means that there is still plenty of distance. Sorry, Mr. Mason. This finish, this way, this is the summit, this is the end of the ride. This should come in at 26.3 exactly. And it is at 26.4, so we're 0.1 out. I'll take that at the moment on the maths. So we are 0.1 out. So there we go. That is 4 laps done. 3 laps to go. 4 laps done. 3 laps to go, Mr. Warren. Of course, we're keeping count. 4 laps done. 3 laps to go. That is the numbers, the scores on the doors as we head down into this end. So that is 4 of your 7 laps done. Yep, I think there's going to be a few people thinking much the same as Kai Hurst at this point. Lots of this. Yeah, 6 more climbs. Yeah. Nick McDermott, thanks for that. I'm off on the out. Excuse to have. Kitten needs walking. Dinner is on leg shot. Nick, thanks for joining us. Totally understand, bud. Enjoy. That's your banner just left. Scarily. Can't use that. So here we go. Here, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Hawkins in here. Going to be a long one tonight. Anyone who thought they're getting back for the tea early? Yeah, not tonight, Josephine. So our riders are on the way on to this. Here we go. I wonder how Rusty's doing. Hey, look at this. Rusty's heart rate is over 100. He's 116. I don't think I've seen Rusty's heart rate reach this high. Mind you, we are 58 minutes in at the minute. That says everything. So here we go. On to the first ascent. First ascent of lap number 5. We have 3 laps to go in total, or 2 3/4 at the moment. Kai Hurst, legs gone pop. And not surprised. There's going to be a number of people. Ruster says he's trying. That's why his heart rate's so high. Not surprised, mate. It's you chose it. I did say that there was some probably unbroadcastable language when the route came in and I saw this. I thought, you know what, it's going to be an absolute cracker. I think it's going to be. Now, we're coming up to the summit at the moment. We're going to be heading over the top and into the descent in about a minute or so's time. This is what's left of the group together. We knew that it was going to be a tough one to hold together because of the attrition on this course was going to be huge as it ramped up. This is going to be a very, very tough one. I think that says no joke on the way up, so here we go. So here we go, coming underneath the rock arch. This is a precursor to the top of the climb. Just seeing Russ tucked into this group, hovering around the middle of the group. We're going to be underneath the banner very shortly. Here we go, taking that left-hand turn. Remember, this is not the finish line, this way around. You may say it, but it's not, it's the other way. Right, into the descent we go. So let's take a look. I think everybody is on the way through. No, 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 equals go, go, go. It is go, go, go. He's gone just coming over the top. The go, go, go has gone on a descent on the hilliest, lumpiest, nastiest route we've had on the Chaingang for a while. Look at the people chucking in those anvils. They want to be in with this group. We're on the gravel descent here. They're going to make a big, big difference. This is going to be really telling as they come down this descent. So we're 29k into 44 kilometers of a ride plus warm down at the end of that. And at the moment, we are at 1 hour of riding. We've not had a long one for a while. This is going to be a long, tough one. Who's going to be left in at the finish? It's going to be a select. It's already a select group in here as our riders are well and truly getting spat out the back. If they're not careful, there's some serious power being pushed in here at the front as they come down this descent. They are all wanting to stay in those wheels as long as possible, but it's very, very difficult to do that on this descent. Here we are. So riders now starting to break clear here. No surprise to see Mason down with this leading group. Dave Williams in here as well. Osman Wilson in here. And they've pulled a little select group out on the yellow beacon here at the moment. Fulton in here. Looks like Bulford in. Hawkins. Forrester's in here. Murray's in here. Finn Davis, not all that far back. It's gone downhill well for a little end. So going well at the moment. This is the group as we come on now. Simon Warren, I think, is going to lead them on to the climb. Let's face it, he's done enough climbing over the years. He should be able to go uphill pretty quick. Just going to try and get in with him. He's currently our leading rider, or was. He's in that leading group, just getting mobbed at the moment. We're on to the climb once again. This is your leading group at the moment. Now, we're not going to be jumping backwards and forwards very much from this group to rear groups whilst we've got multiple riders all the way over the hills. And that is quite simply because we will not be able to get back to the front. If that happens, it is going to be virtually impossible. So it is going to be key, guys. Make sure that you know where you are in the group. Russ at the moment on the front. He's got Finn Davis with him. He's on the push up on towards the summit north. Remember, when we get to the top this time round, that will be 5 laps done. We should hit that at about 32.2k. Should be about 32.2. When we get into the summit. We'll see if that's going to be the case as they come in. So here we go. Russ with that leading group just going over the top. We've just seen Phil Oliver, Dale Williams pushing on here. Simon Oxenham, definitely a man on a mission at the moment. He's definitely looking like he means business tonight. Is it going to be his night tonight on the toughest night we've had on the Chaingang for a long, long time? You've got to be in with that group at the moment and think to be in with a chance. You can't be too far back. There's a number of very good riders just tucked in behind as they make their way up this hill. Going to be really tough if you're not in this group to get there. Just taking a look down, Wayne Barr right in this mix. He's not far off. Rob Varty trying to push his way up. Simon Warren just dropping back a little bit at the moment. It looks like Ian Bell, Keith Richardson doing the same as well. Steve Wilson just being dropped a little bit here. Looks like Starkey further down the hillside. But the leading group at the moment being led up here. And it is going to be the lead currently of Oxenham as he goes up. We're just going to see Tim Baggs, I think, making his way down into Waters fairly shortly. He's in fact, he's in front, so we're about to catch him for a lap, I think. fairly shortly at the moment. So here we go, our red beacon, that's Tim Baggs in front. He's going to see the leading group come through at the moment. It's going to be Little and Oxenham who are going to come in past him as they come up over the top. Phil Oliver, Finn Davies in here as they come in and through. So just riding in with Davis as he comes up underneath the banner. They hit the line. That is 5 laps complete. That is 2 laps to go. 2 laps left to go now. 2 laps left to go. Who's your money on tonight? Going to be a tough one. You can see, look at the number of personal bests being set on the way through. Wayne Barr goes through and jumps off the bike there. He's done and dusted as he goes in and through. Mason at the moment just putting in the steamroller because not going to be much use on this tarmac descent, sadly. Just getting rid of that bullfin just tucked in here. Davis in here. It's currently Russ who's leading them down the descent. He's got a little bit of a gap here, actually. And the group have got to be careful because it is a gritty kind of course. It is a tough course. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted. We're at 1 and 6 at the moment. And here we go. Looks like Mason and Woodall are going to come through with Murray on the wheels in here. Dale is doing an astounding job here. I don't know what Dale has been doing, but he's absolutely flying at the moment. He's on his way down here. Just watching Dale Williams, he is in with these leads. I tell you something, I wouldn't put it past him. He got able to take this. Interesting to see Mason in here. Now, there'll be a lot of people think a sprinter like Mason wouldn't be able to use it ride at this course, but this is the sort of course that suits somebody who can put in repeated sprints and repeated pushes. You think about somebody who's good, international rugby player. What do they do? Sprint, stop, sprint, stop, sprint, stop. What are we doing today? Big power stop, big power stop, big power stop, big power stop. Should be absolutely superb. If G is here, Dale's has got no excuse. Rusko, who can still see? I don't know. Not many. There's not too many in here. So let's see how they're going. Nick Morris just laughing his head off at the fact that no one can see anything as they come up on to the climb here. So it is a Bullfin with the black aero helmet on the Tron bike. It's Murray side by side. They are at the front of this group at the moment. They are 1 and 2 on this climb. You've got Mason in 3, Oliver in 4, Downing in 5. It looks like Russ has just found another little kick here. Remember, these gradients, none of them are exceptionally steep, but they just keep on coming. Rise, it steadies, it rises, it steadies again. Very Scottish proverb to describe it is not one continuous gradient. It yo-yos up and down. Not the biggest climb on Swift, but when you put in as many ascents as we've had on here, it's definitely doing its damage now. Russ winding it up, Bullfin and Murray in here. So look at that. Russ is really putting the pressure down now. Is he going to shed a few people? Woodall is at 7 seconds. Mason at 4. Phil Oliver is at 4. It really is starting to distance a lot of these riders. There's a big train not all that far behind as well coming up the climb. So Russ reckons he's going to go bang. Who's going to take it on? Here we go, up to the summit. It's going to be Bullfin, I think, who's going to lead it over the top. It levels off for long enough for Russ probably to go around the side if he wants to. Got a right and a left-hand turn coming up. So here we go, over the top. We're in with Bullfin as we lead back in to the descent. We're going to drop down the gravel descent. There are 4 riders clear at the moment. Bullfin in 1, Downing in 2, Murray in 3, Williams in 4. A gap back behind then with a lot of riders in a long snaking train on this ascent. But definitely smashed to pieces, and you can just see that our riders all over the place at the moment. Russ, though, goes up on to the front, on to the descent. He's got that aero engaged at the moment. So Downing it is, who's pushing on here. The rider from Downing Cycling, of course, in charge Bike Flex, Pro Espresso, all part of Russ's Braz, all represented by Russ, and you can just see Russ at the moment on this descent really is winding it up. He's not eased off. So just taking a look, it looks like Finn Davis currently 14 seconds down. Phil Oliver 14 seconds down. Looks like Little is at 14 seconds as well. Mason is at 3 with Murray and Buffett, and G I think has got back on here. So look at that. Mason has got on the descent. He was dropped on the ascent. He's got back on the descent, and he's now the rider up into second place. He's currently chasing Downing, who's just clear at the front. So it's Russ Downing who is leading them down at the moment, taking the descent, and it is going to be Mason who has made contact behind. Now Russ has got a little bit of a gap here. Last time I do you any favours, says Russ. Hey mate, I think that was just momentum. I don't think he was putting any effort in, believe me. That was just pure momentum from Mason. So here they go, closing down on Russ's back wheel as we make our way in and around. Mason says he's fifth over the top. He was. And momentum's just brought him right up onto your wheel, Russ. It's the advantage of being a big lad, or bigger than you, which is not difficult, let's face it. Right. Here we go, back on to the climb. Once again, it's going to be Bullfin who's going to lead them onto the climb. Now, we are lapping a number of riders, so just be aware. Don't be worried, Keith. It is not more issues with your spaceship. It is the leading people who are riding absolutely out of this world at the moment. The leading riders, it's now Williams who is on the offensive and is really pushing up the watts per kilo. So Dale Williams now at the front of this group. Mason in 2, Bulford in 3, Murray in 4, and Downing in 5. As they come up, when they get to the top, this will be lap number 6 complete. It will leave them with 1 lap to go. So currently on the way up on their 3rd to last climb. So this is the anti-penultimate climb, basically, for these riders. At the moment, Williams absolutely flying. Really interesting that the 1-2 is Williams and Mason on a course nobody would have put any amount of money on being anybody but a climber. But it's those repeated efforts that's allowing them to stay in touch. At the moment, it's Williams in 1, Bulford in 2, Mason in 3, Downing in 4. I'm just looking to see where Murray is. Murray is going to be in 5. Finn Davis, I think, is in 6. It may be Taylor in 6. No, it's Davis in 6. And then I think it's Phil Oliver in 7. Woodall in 8. Little currently in 9 at the moment. Then I think it's going to be Oxenham potentially. They're all over the place. That's kind of how it was. Now, look at this. Russ just doing an attack whilst we're busy just checking back. Russ has used the opportunity to go over the top of Williams as they come in once again. So Russ is going to lead them up this section. They've got another full spiral to go at least here as we come in on this climb. Remember, it is 1 lap to go when we hit the summit. This is going to be the penultimate time this direction. When they're doing this next time round, they will be on that run in towards the finish. Absolutely motoring up here is Russ Downing. He's leading the way here, and at the moment Dale Williams is currently in the group with going to be Gareth Mason, the fat cyclist, and Mason Bulfin, and those are the riders at the moment who are looking at each other, and they can't afford to do that for very long, or they are going to find themselves in trouble, because at the moment it's Bulfin who is leading the chase, but they are still trying to close down on Russ Downing, and Downing at the moment has that gap going up over the spiral. So coming in to the spiral turns, it looks like Russ is going to be the man who's going to go through underneath the gantry in lead, 14 seconds. There we go. It is 1 lap to go, 6 laps complete. 1 more lap to go for our leader. That is Russ Downing, who goes over the top in the lead. Are we going to see a win for the Yellow Beacon? What's the gap going to be at the top? Bullfin is only just coming up to the summit now. Come on, Russ. This is doable, buddy. He's currently 18 seconds clear. Bullfin has Williams. He's got Finn Davis, who has collected up Mason and passed him on the way through here. And at the moment, Finn Davis is trying to close the gaps down when it is a change of riders in the chase here. So Mason now with the work to do on the descent once again. Finn Davis on that ascent on the penultimate time up from the northern climb has made the junction to the chasing group. Downing is down the road quite literally, and that is 20 seconds further down the road heading in towards the roundabout. He's got the gap. Now, who is going to is anybody going to chase? I think probably everybody but Bullfin probably owes Russ a favour or two chasing down breaks for them. So are they going to chase down the yellow beacon, or are they going to leave the work to be done by Mason Bullfin, who is the rider leading this group here? I'm sure Dale Williams and Finn Davis probably have been in the position where Russ has chased down riders for them and done a lot of work. But here we go. Russ is coming out of the roundabout. Where's the chasing group? That's them coming by on the right-hand side. That was the chasers. They're heading into the roundabout. And Downing is now coming in. This is the penultimate time. This is the roadside, the shorter time up this climb. So this is our second to last climb. Our leader is going to be Russ Downing. He's on to the climb at the moment, and behind the gaps have opened. We're watching the riders coming down the opposite direction. Russ has just got to keep this going for two more climbs. Can he now get this right? I'm not going to say the words time trial to Russ. What I'm going to say is repeated sprint efforts, because we know he can do those. And he hates time trials. But that is what he's got to do. He's got to surge with power repeatedly on the steeper sections. He goes in past riders. He's on his way up this climb. It's 22 seconds to Bullfin, who should have, I think, Davis and Williams immediately behind him. He has. This is your top four. Now, Woodall is at 11 seconds. Mason's at 14. So it looks like the gang saying really tough stuff at the back of the group. No surprises there today. But Bullfin at the moment just starting to distance Williams, distance Davis. So Finn Davis and Dale Williams at the moment. This is only a fight for third, and that is because Bullfin is starting to ride clear. He's starting to close the gap down on Russ Downing. Downing is on his way up. He's not many turns off the summit, and then he'll be into that big descent here. And then he'll only have one more ascent to the finish. You can see another big kick come from Russ there. The power socks coming in to play. He's burning up the road here. Our yellow beacon, he's going to go through the summit for the penultimate time. He's going to lead them through one descent, one ascent, and he will be done. We're just going to see him come in and through here. In fact, he's going to finish as he gets to the line here, surely. So he's going to go through now on the way through here. This is at what is going to be 44.2. And so he's on the way down. He's got to get down. He's got to get back up the other side. So here we go. He's on his way down. He's got to get up the other side of this to get in to the finish. And it's going to be fairly close in terms of case, but we should get this just about right as he comes in and through. Let's keep a check. So here we go. He's on to the gravel descent. Now he's on his way down. He's got that gap. How much longer is he going to go? We're going to see. Let's see how Russ is doing. So Russ on his way down. He's at 40.9k at the moment. He's on his way down that descent. He's absolutely flying. So Russ leading at the moment. Bullfin at 20 seconds at the moment on that descent. So we reckon Russ is going to come in at 44k. 44k should be about right. He's on his way down here. He's absolutely flying. He's got the gap. Can he make this now? Bullfin is the nearest rider to him on the road at 25 seconds. He's in second. I'm going to try and get to him. It's really, really tricky on the way down. Dale Williams has got Finn Davis. This is the fight currently for third and fourth places. Russ is leading this out. He's got to get round this turn, so should be hitting the finish somewhere around about that 44K marker. That's what we're looking for on the way through. Will that be the case? It's going to be very interesting. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do this. He's got to be able to keep the pressure on now. Bullfin is the rider in pursuit. He's at 29 seconds. He's lost a lot of ground. He can see the beacon coming the other way. There we go. The chaser sees the yellow beacon going up into the ascent. That was the nearest chaser to Russ behind Bullfin. Looks like Williams and Davis have saved something in the tank. They're coming into the roundabout now. And they are going to have Bullfin in their sights fairly quickly. The moment they come off this roundabout, I think they're going to be able to see him. He's literally obscured by the standing stones. If we try and take our drone camera up, you can just about see him making his way up onto the bridge. So here we go. Remember, and making his way up and through. Mr. Warren, no, you have not finished. You've got to get to 44K, mate. 44K, you finish on the way north. Looking very, very good at the moment for Williams, for Davis. They are already pushing the way up on to the climb. The question is, can they close down on Bullfin? This is Bullfin at the moment. He's 30 seconds down on Downing. So Russ Downing now on the ascent. Russ has got to pull this out. I tell you something, he's got better. The longer this rider's gone on, the better Russ is riding on his way up here. Don't be easy enough now, Russ. You've got a little way still to go. You've got to get to that summit. Russ at the moment still on the lower slopes of this climb, and he'll be wanting to see that gantry come. So Russ now back on to the steep section. It's a 14% at its nastiest kick after that rock archway. He goes in and through it, levels back off again. A little bit of a descent, just carrying some momentum. You saw that little spurt of power there just to keep the momentum moving, to keep rolling, to keep accelerating it. Now up on to the next section of climb. So here he comes. He's coming around this right-hand turn. And time is running out for Bullfin to close down. Bullfin, in fact, has been passed, and he has been dropped by Finn Davis and by Dale Williams here. So at the moment, Bullfin is back with them. So Russ is leading this out. He's 38 seconds up the road. So Russ has the lead at the moment, but the fight for second, third, and fourth, well, in the words of the immortal phrase from football, it's all to play for now. Finn Davis putting on the power, then it's Dale Williams, then it's going to be Mason Bullfin. They are the riders who are trying to chase down our yellow beacon. They're also battling it out for second, third and fourth place on the way through. There are a lot of people behind who would dearly love to be here. I tell you who's on a bit of a charge. Richie Woodall is not that far behind him. This is Woodall. That's the battle for second, third and fourth place. He's almost on him. Behind him is Phil Oliver. This could become a four-way fight for second place. Meanwhile, Russ Downing is still further up the road. He's currently going round the spiral. He's not got far to go to the finish. So the bear was well and truly poked over the last month. He has responded. He's got the claws out tonight. And it's going to be Russ Downing who is going to take the victory here tonight on an absolutely epic Donny Chaingang. Russ Downing of Biteflex, the man whose bright idea it was to bring you the Donny Chaingang. Here he comes. It is Russ Downing coming through. He takes the win on the Chaingang. He's in first place. Let's drop back to that battle for second place. Finn Davis, I think, has got a little bit of a gap here. He has. It's on Dale Williams and Mason Bullfin and Richie Woodall are the riders in that order. Now they're not going to come up and take him, but look, there's a big kick coming up behind here. Dale Williams is trying to come for Finn Davis. This is going to be a close one. I think Finn's just going to hold on. He's under the gantry. It's Finn Davis and it's Dale Williams who comes through. Then it's going to be Bullfin. Then it's going to be Woodall. Then I think it is going to be Oliver, the next rider on his way through in 6th place. What a finish there. They're coming in and through, so we are going to try and keep our eye and follow our riders in as they come in. 1-2K climbs he likes, yeah, that, and I would agree with you on the way through. So Oliver comes in through ahead of Maury. Maury's going to come through in 7th place. It's going to be an 8th place for Byrne. So Tim Byrne is going to come through in 8th position. It's going to be a 9th place, I think, here for James Little. It's going to be a 10th place for Rob Varty, if he can just stay clear of a chasing Mason. Mason is going to come through in 11th position, I think. So it's Taylor just going in. Then it is going to be Mason in 12th. So Mason comes through in 12th position. Here today, it's going to be Simon Oxenham's going to be in 13th position. Here we go. So Oxenham comes through in 13th place. Simon Runnett is going to come through in 14th. Good right there by Simon. It's going to be Neil Carey. Going to be a lap down, I think, at the moment. Then it's going to be Bale, I think, are going to be our next rider in through the finish with Simon Warren. So they come through in 15th and 16th places together. We're going to drop down. I think Osmond's going to be our next rider in. Then it's going to be Hawkins. He's at 19th. It's going to be a 20th place for, I think, Keith Richardson after a late join. And it is. Then it's going to be... I'm just going to try and keep a check of this because we're going the wrong way. So Keith Richardson coming in through. Then I think we are going to see Ruddiman going to be our next rider in to the finish. Looks like he's going to be our next man through. So Ruddiman currently in 21st place, I think. Then Sam Emsley potentially, or Neil Morn. Going to be the riders immediately behind. We're just going to keep a little bit of a check. Hudson is not far behind, but I think Hudson is going to be a lap down here by the look of the numbers. So good ride by Mr. Ruddiman. That is a good ride on his way through. Paul Hudson, I think, is going to be our next rider in and through. Good ride by Paul. Sam Emsley pushing it in a 23rd position. So he makes his way up here. So 23rd for Sam Emsley. Good ride by Sam. We're going to run across from Sam Emsley, I think, to Mr. Sharp. Gary Sharp comes through. Good ride by Gary again. He comes in. He's just ahead of Greg Pillsworth, who's just been our beacon. Behind him, I think, will be Mr. Starkey on his way through. Aren't you glad that you got on the road, buddy? For reals. So in he goes. He's going to be just ahead of Dave Fulton. Really interesting mix of names up here in the end of this one, because it's not necessarily the people who you would have expected to be in. So Fulton's going to be our next rider through. He's going to be in 27th place. He's going to come through ahead of Forrester. So it's going to be Craig Forrester coming through 28th position. 29th is going to be Mr. Wilson. So Steve Wilson comes in. It's then going to be John Dixon of Bolsover. He's currently the next rider on his way through. Well, that is a tough course. There's a lot of sore legs at the end of that. There's going to be a lot of sore people on the way down that descent on the far side. So John Dixon, our next rider in and through. We're going to go back across. I think Paul Mallin will be our next rider in towards the line. We're just going to take a look, because I think Darren is in his way through as well. So Darren Topless has a lap to go, so it is going to be Paul Mallin. Paul Mallin in 31st position. Some good going there. So Paul Mallin going to be our next rider. 31st place for Paul as he comes in towards the line. He's got 14 seconds, I think, from Dean Taylor. So Paul Mullin, our next rider in over the line. Dean Taylor's going to come through. He's only going to be a few seconds down, I think. And he is going to be coming in for 32nd. Going to be a really tough ride. All these riders completing the Donny Chaingang here at the top of the climb and getting to freewheel their way down. So Dean Taylor comes through over the line. He hits that 44k marker, eases off the pedals immediately, and I don't blame him. Then it's going to be James Pearson who's going to come through in 33rd. It's going to be then James West immediately behind. Rich Langme comes through. Then it's going to be Stevie G, our next rider on his way in. He's got Wharfdale Phil just behind him, but I think it is going to be Steve G who's going to be next in. So Stevie on his way in to the finishing line here on the Donny Chaingang. He's going to be finishing as he hits the line here. In he goes, so nicely done. Going to see Wharfdale Phil on the way into that long right-hand turn. This turn here, that gantry coming up just in front of him. So 37th from Wharfdale Phil. Then it's going to be Steve Catlin. Catlin going to be in 38th. Just finishing today, though, is a seriously big achievement from all of our riders. And all our riders coming in pretty much singularly. No sprints in today. We actually see more sprint finishes at the top of mountain climbs. So we're just going to take a little look. Steve Catlin is in and through. Dick Samuel will be our next rider, going to be in 39th place. So Dick inside that top 40. Remember, 105 riders on that start line. Today's going to come in ahead of Forbes here. So James Forbes, then it's going to be Chris Goddard. So Chris Goddard going to be followed by Jonathan Gale, Foxy, Chris Lowe, I think in the order as we come in. So then it's going to be Jonathan Gale. Gale almost onto the line. So good riding by Jonathan. And then it's going to be Foxy coming in and through. So a great riding by Foxy from the DCG on the way up this climb. Doing a great job here today. So that is going to be job done. We're going to go drop back next. It is going to be Chris Lowe. So Foxy taking first female. Then it's going to be Chris Lowe coming through. 44th place for Chris. Then it's going to be Jim Flynn. Good ride by Jim. Continuing to push. One more lap to go to the line, buddy. One more lap for you. We are just working our way back. 45th is going to be the Wolf. It's going to be Jimmy Allen. So Jimmy, our ride leader from Tuesday, making his way up. So going to be just outside that hour and a half mark, ahead of Keith Hayward. I think it's going to be Mick Clark, though, our next rider on his way through the line to finish. So Jimmy Allen coming in to the finish here today. He comes in over the line. Then it's going to be Mick Clark. It looks like he's going to be our next rider in and through. Keith Hayward with one more lap to go as he hits the line. So it's going to be Clark coming through. Then it's going to be Prinsloo, our next finisher today. So Mark Prinsloo going to be our next finisher coming up to the finish court. Final sprint, Mark. This is it. Job done when you hit the line this time. Okay, so this is going to be Chris Canham. So Chris on those final few hundred metres, the gantry comes in, say out the saddle there, 60 revs per minute. Not far behind is Ali Cameron. So Ali on the way up that last section of a climb. We're going to try and drop back in again. So Chris Canham, 48 is going to take that tonight, and don't blame me. Ali Cameron coming through for the race team, coming through in second female over the line today. Going to drop back because Paul Hudson's going to be finishing. He comes up to the line this time around. Good ride by Paul here today. He's going to be ahead of Neil Morn. So Paul Hudson on his way through. food and rest after the WOW DCG yesterday, but for Foxy by the look of it. So Paul Huston, job done as he goes in through the line. We're going to take a run back because it's going to be Neil Morn, our next finisher. Neil from the Stellarton supporting the Chaingang repeatedly, and great to see the team in here. And they're doing a great job here once again, so great to see Neil coming through. Going to be 51st for Neil as he hits the line just ahead of another of the Sheffield riders. It's going to be Alistair Cootie of the Chef Rec squad, who's on his way up here. So going to be Alistair, who's coming in to the finish. Next finisher here on the DCG. So Alistair taking 52nd. He's to start making his way down into the descent. Next couple of riders is going to be Tracy, the Terminator, who was in action yesterday on the WOW DCG. Good ride by Tracy last time around, and again riding well here today. Just in front should be Vin Donahoe. Vin currently just making his way in to that turn. These two on the way up, both responsible of course for bringing us the Chaingang through the summer, and great to see them in action. Hopefully get to go and get a ride in with these guys again. It was great to see them out on the roads through last summer, and hopefully we're going to do the same again. So I think Tracy's going to lead in to the line, or is Vin going to just nip in and through? The finish line comes. It's going to be Vin who comes through. Then it's going to be Tracy. The Terminator immediately behind will be John Finney. So it is 53, 54 for Donahoe and Tracy Seeley. It's 55th for John Finney as he comes in through the line. And next up is going to be Chris McLaughlin. So Chris on to the final slopes here today. So Chris McLaughlin going to come in 56th position. So he said today was going to be a tough day out, and we were going to wonder how many people were going to finish. I'm going to be very interested to see who is left on this course at the end of today's ride. As Chris McLaughlin comes in, he's going to be in 56th place, and just finishing today is a serious achievement because it is an absolutely brutal course. Well, to everybody, whether you've jumped off early and called it a day, done the smart thing if you're suffering, or whether you have pushed all the way into the finish. Definitely not easy today. Definitely a tough Donny Chaingang for our riders. Now, next rider in is going to be Andrew Priester. Priester coming up this climbing around the turn and in underneath the finish line gantry. Here that World Champs gantry for Priester. Behind him should be Andy Keyworth, I think, who I think is on the turns on his way through. So going to be Keyworth, Mason, and then Dubash. And then I'm going to have to do a little bit of calculation to working out who else is where on the course. I can see our Red Beacon, of course, out on course. I think we've got a few other riders with him, but definitely a tough day at the office for everybody. Russ revelling in that, though, in the role of Yellow Beacon. And plenty of comments about how tough the day has been. Looking forward to seeing what it says on the Facebook pages of the Donny Chaingang. So don't forget, you can follow us on those Facebook pages. You'll be able to see all of that reaction on there. Don't forget to make sure you give us a follow on Full Speed Events, on Downing Cycling, Matt Fitzpatrick and Russ Downing, Fonzie Downing. As Andy Keyworth comes in and through. Good ride, Andy. Well done, buddy. Now, immediately behind is going to be Bobby Mason. So, Mason coming up to the summit, coming up in to the finish. Keith Hayward said, "Don't wait up, Matt." Keith, you know me by now. We are going to bring everybody home. We count them all out, we count them all back in again. Chaingang means far too much for us to leave anybody out there. You are... crazy enough, mad enough, brave enough to keep on riding, then we're going to keep on covering you. So Bobby Mason comes up in over the line. Good ride, Bobby. Well done, mate. That is job done. Free wheel down, collect those drops points. Then it's going to be Dr. D coming through the line. Well done, Ryan. Good to see Ryan Dubash coming through, finishing the distance here today. Now comes the complicated bit, he says, because we're going to work out who's next. And I reckon, by my reckoning, it's going to be Darren Topless, our next rider on the climb. Yeah, good ride by Bobby there today, I thought. Good ride by you too, Ryan, as Ryan goes in and through. So we have Darren Topless. We also have out on course Tim Baggs and Keith Hayward. And that potentially might be it. But I'm not going to guarantee that one. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And that is quite simply because it would be very easy to get this wrong. Now, Darren Topless on his way in to those final spirals at the moment. So whilst he's on his way in to these spirals, just going to do a quick bit of housekeeping, if I may, if you don't mind. Darren, quick reminder, please remember, guys, that we can only bring you the Chaingang, and Russ can only ride the Chaingang if you keep on supporting. If you remember, if you donate, and I know a lot of people did donate this week, and really do appreciate that, ad hoc as well as people who are members of the DCG gang. So thank you very, very much. It helps basically pay for all the things that we keep on breaking. Yes, we've still got Sane Sticky Mouse, I haven't ordered a new one yet. But all of that, all of the streaming, all of the time that we spend looking after riders, making sure we can get people on all the ticketing, all the rest of it, making sure that we can cover our duty of care, making sure we can look after you, that we know who's on that ride, to make sure that we can look after the members of the gang, members who just turn up and ride, new riders. We are there and keep that community all the time spent checking out the Facebook pages, approving it. It's a real Facebook page. There's real numbers on there. We don't let spam bots in. We don't let in fake profiles. Everybody needs to answer those questions. We need to know them personally to let them in. So please remember, guys, if you do donate, it really is appreciated by Russ, myself, by Emma, by everybody who works behind the scenes. Our volunteers are key. Without them, we just can't make the Chain Gang happen. So a massive thank you to them as well. Whether there are beacons, whether it's people who stand in, whether it's Gail doing all of the admin for those beacons on the way through. So a massive thanks to them. Now, next rider coming through the finish, it is Darren Topless. A brilliant ride, Darren. Well done, buddy. Darren, our next rider, in and over the line, and he is now done and dusted. He gets to spin those legs out, as I think our red beacon is in company, and they are on the way up. It is Tim Baggs and Keith Hayward, as you can see on your screens at the moment. They are going to be coming in. Tim Baggs on red beacon duty here today with Keith Hayward for company on the climb here today. So they are going to be our riders who are bringing the bus in, and there should be, and there will be, because guys, we're not going to let you climb off now, 63 finishers out of the 105 starters on today's attritional Donny Chaingang. Now, whilst our riders are making their way up there, just going to dive back in once again. So don't forget, if you're a member of the DCG gang, 20% off. Go visit Stefano and Maurizio down at Nonna's. Get yourself booked in. Email Stefano. Get yourself in. Jump in. Go see the guys. Go get that warm welcome. They are absolutely bike mad. I'm really looking forward to seeing our riders. They are welcoming all year long, but if you remember the DCG gang, if you committed to spending your money in March, if you've looked after the Chain Gang, then remember, guys, we are going to be putting you in the draw, as well as giving you that 20% off, and that draw is for 5 lots of £50 vouchers to spend at Nonna's. So please remember, jump on there, jump onto the Nonna's website. All of the people that you see just up here look after our riders. We've got to say a massive thank you to them. We're supported by a lot of companies as well. We have music by Dan Lebowski. Thank you very much, Dan. That is Overdrive Ride. We also Have, of course, people like fellow viewer Ben Lowe and the team there looking after the graphics for us, Swift, Hacks and Zwift, supporting us behind the scenes technically, as well as making sure everything is rolling behind the scenes. People like Tim Cooper, who jump in and do a lot of the tech support, as well as looking after a lot of the kit for us, as well as countless others. And if I missed you, I really do apologise. Can't remember everybody. My brain's a bit fried. Was out in the sun, as you can probably tell by the state of me after being out in the sunshine all day long. And the fact that I was getting a pasting on the hills from Emma has got nothing at all to do with it whatsoever. Now, Russ in and done, taking the win as the winner of the Chaingang. Our riders on to the climb for the final time. They have got this right-hand turn coming up, and then they're going to be into the spiral, into the finish. And our beacon's doing an amazing job of looking after everybody. If you were distance today, don't forget this has been one of our toughest chain gangs I think I can remember for a long, long time. Maybe the toughest we've ever had. It is a real testament to our riders that they even took it on when details emerged of what Russ had in store. So well done to everybody who has jumped on, whether you finished first, last, or decided to jump off, whether that was because your team was calling, because you needed to get gone, or of course because you decided that discretion was the better part of valour. Well, our two riders who are going to finish off the ride, and they're going to be on to those slopes at the moment. They are currently on the climb and going well. It is Tim Baggs, it's Keith Hayward. Let's jump in with Keith first of all. So Keith, our drone camera's coming for you. He's going to try and get through. Here he is. He's on those slopes. You can see that roundabout. We were just down there not that long ago. Lots and lots of times. 15 climbs of the skirt today for our riders. Keith Hayward on the final one of those 15, getting the support of the crowd at the side. And I am sure that there will be a lot more people at the side of the road when we come to Glasgow for the World Championships. I'm looking forward to calling lots of action from there for the UCI at the World Championships. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Really looking forward to that. And if you are going, make sure you give us a shout. Don't forget, of course, you can follow me. It's at MattFixerPain on Instagram, on Facebook, on Strava, on Zwift. You can also follow me on all sorts of different platforms. Don't forget, of course, you can follow me on the Full Speed Events platform, and you'll find Emma there as well, our WOW DCG head honcho. And Emma is at Biking Emma, Fozzie Downing, Bike Espresso, and of course, Bike Flex. Absolutely key to follow as you jump around on social media. And don't forget, of course, make sure all those people that you can see on the bottom of your screens, you give them a big shout out and support those people who really do support the Chaingang. So Keith working well up here, nice cadence, 83 revs per minute on the spiral as he makes his way around. You can see that red beacon. Tim Baggs just up in front as the Northern Lights start to come into view. Let's see if we can get an even better view. We just have to stay just above the ground to do so. The Northern Lights coming out for the finish. The constellations showing for our riders as they come in to the last straight section before that right-hand turn. And they're going to come in together. Tim saying, well done, Keith. I know Keith saying that Houston, he had a problem partway into the right. Well, I'll tell you something. He's done an Apollo 13 on us. He's not only got round the moon, he's got himself back into the finish as well. A great job by Keith. Fantastic job by our red beacon. Tim Baggs there alongside Keith with the encouragement all the way in to that line. You finish when you hit the line. This time, this is it. It's job done. It's downhill from this banner all the way down. Collect those drop points. Spin those legs out. It is going to be a job done for our riders. So here they come. It is Keith Hayward and Tim Baggs coming in to the finish line together. Well done, gents. A brilliant job on the Chaingang, and in particular, big thanks to Tim Baggs. Our red beacon doing an amazing job here today in that red beacon roll. So we're going to let Tim descend his way down the mountain, and we are going to leave you with our sponsors. A big thank you to the guys over there. If you've enjoyed the show, make sure you hit subscribe on one of the YouTube channels. That way you get notified every time. That's the Donny Cycling YouTube channel or the Full Speed Events YouTube channel. Don't forget, of course, we're going to be back next week. There is no show on Tuesday. I'm going to be stuck probably in the tunnel right when the show is due to go out. So, no show Tuesday. We'll be back for the WOW DCG next week. So, it's going to be WOW DCG, the first show of next week. But Russ will be back with the DCG on Tuesday. And on the ride, we're back on Wednesday for the WOW DCG, then the DCG on Thursday. And then we'll be running into, very important week, the week of the giveaways for Nonners. So from Russ, from all of our riders, from me and Matt Payne, stay safe, enjoy your riding, have a great weekend. You can catch up with us. We've got lots more streaming and lots more racing coming out. Full Speed Events, that logo down there. Give it a follow. It will tell you where we are next on there. In the meantime, stay safe. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.